about to review for you today is The Silence of the Lambs, directed by Jonathan Demme and written by Ted Talley. It stars Anthony Hopkins, Jodie Foster, Scott Glenn, and Ted Levine. The film was released in 1991, a year right after came out. The film went on to win 5 Academy Awards, including Best Actor Anthony Hopkins for portraying his character Hannibal Lecter, and Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling. The two gives out amazing chemistry. It's beyond what we usually see in film. It's so grounded in reality that it feels like we're actually there with them in the scene. So Clarice's beauty is basically what has her chosen, and hopes to bring out the dark truths of Buffalo Bill, and which Hannibal Lecter is familiar with. So, and within every question that Clarice asks Lecter is that Hannibal also, in return, she has to give personal information about her own life and personal problems and struggles to gain more information about the killer. And you can see the struggle in her trying to tell these little details because they're so dark for her, to her life. But as curious as Clarice is about Hannibal, he's just curious about her as to what drives her to have become the woman she is today, and taking classes to be a trainee, learning to be a detective profiler. So not only does he figure out who she is, but we also figure out who she is as a character, as well as Hannibal. And even with Hannibal's charming yet chilling persona, Clarice is still willing to take the case and dig deeper into the secrets of a madman. And this just shows how brave she is as a character, is that very few would be willing to delve into the mind of a serial killer, and she does it. So the scene where Hannibal explains in detail how he ate one of his patients with fava beans and an expensive wine, which he refers to as Chianti, a fine Chianti, he actually improved that in the film, and it's gone on to be one of the most talked about, infamous scenes in horror movie history, even today. And as timeless as that film is, that scene is just as timeless, which also I'll add is 26 years later. It's not difficult to see why Silence of the Lambs is still celebrated through all these years as one of the best pictures ever made, with its cast and crew and its deep psychological characters. You can actually feel yourself in the situation, and that any given moment it could be you. And as terrifying as Hannibal Lecter is as a character, and how horrifyingly brilliant Anthony Hopkins portrays the character, Ted Levine's Buffalo Bill is just as gruesome and horrifying as Hannibal is, which is actually inspired by a real-life serial killer known as Ed Gein. He would stitch together human skin and form it into furniture coverings and wear their humans' faces, which inspired the Buffalo Bill character, but also would later on inspire Dr. Thredson in American Horror Story Season 2, and Leatherface. That's from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. And the film explains how Clarice Starling is still haunted from her father's death. That was many years ago when she was a child. And her witnessing her father's death, it still traumatizes her. And she later on became adopted, which she woke up later in the night while her adopted parents were slaughtering lambs. Later on in the film, where Clarice explains her past to Lecter with how she tried to save the lamb. The scene was actually supposed to be a flashback like we see throughout the films with the father and her past and all. So we're supposed to see that physically at the lambs, but the scene itself would have cost $1 million or over to set it up. So the director also had thought that seeing Clarice's performance, or Jodie Foster's performance as Clarice telling the story, would have been a better option anyways, which he was so right about that because that's one of the best scenes in the film. The actor literally has to beat it out of her to get her to explain what happened and how it made her feel and what she was trying to accomplish that night. And even despite Buffalo Bill's and Hannibal Lecter's brutally evil intent, she still is determined to find the victim, Catherine Martin, and hopes to stop hearing the screaming of the lambs, which is referred to as her father's flashbacks. And even with all that she's been through already, she's still going through more with, having to bring up her past and deal with these horrible, evil characters that she still keeps going. And even with her possibly being able to overcome her past, she'll never quite be able to overcome the distinct evil and mind of Hannibal Lecter that she had looked into. Just a glimpse or a segment for just a few days is enough to traumatize her for the rest of her life. So that was my review of The Silence of the Lambs. I hope you enjoyed it and come back for more.